All right, good morning, everybody. Going to do a video. We have a lot of stuff that we got done yesterday, which is good. I'm going to go over that in a second. We're at like $4,200 for the month. It's the 3rd of the month. It's a Friday. I'm going to do my store video after this video. So I wanted just to show you guys. This is that processing area. Remember the processing area I kept on showing you guys? Well, we have it all organized, not organized, but emptied out, ready to get these trees. The trees are going to get lined up. I'm hoping to get five pallets per row, and I'm hoping to get, like 6 or 7 rows. We're going to make it all by size. We're going to put all this stuff lined up with flat pricing on it. There are going to be the club load trees that we're not going to do that with, just because they're nicer trees. But all the trees that I have, I mean, there's some Macy's and there's some home improvement store ones, and then there's also a couple Targets in there. So we're gonna put those in there. So as you can see here, this right here got moved around. We actually did a lot of moving around yesterday. A lot got done. So that one's ready for Christmas. And then what we did was we moved the Halloween to this aisle right here. This is where all the outdoor stuff was before, and now it's all Halloween. We did bump up the sale to 15% off, so we're hoping that that's going to help out. Our fill bag is not working. Our customers can care less about the deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to give this like another week. And then if it doesn't sell, this is all going to get packaged up. And then I'm going to try to reach out maybe to another bin store and just see if they want some filler. But we're going to see what happens with that. So this is what's left on the outdoor. I put it all in the front of the store. What's nice about this is when customers walk in, they immediately sit down on the chairs. So that helps out getting some exposure. We did move the heaters over here. The heaters used to be in this row. This row right here is now gondolas, so that all got cleared out. So this is all going to get filled today and tomorrow with Christmas, but this is all the heaters. So if you remember, this was all in one row. Now it's in 2 bunches, and what I like about this is it's right next to the exit door. So it just gives somebody another idea to walk through it. Either before they leave or when they get here, they can see it's a big pile. And what I'm going to say is I actually like this better because all the inventory that we have is bunched up. Yeah, we got these guys in the beginning of one of the rows, and then we got this guy in the beginning of another row. So it's all product placement, guys. What I like about this, like I was saying, is it's all bunched up. It looks like we have a lot more than if it was in a row. So yeah, so we're gonna roll with that and see what happens. We decided on the gondolas to move the Halloween where it is, and now we're gonna have this gondola right here. We're gonna take the shelves off of this guy, and then we're gonna put all the wreaths here, and then we're probably gonna see if we can do like the garlands here. So there's another right across from it. So it's really just trying to tell that story. And the Christmas, there's a lot of it. In watermelons, Gaylords, some hasn't even been processed yet. So we're gonna have to, really get on that. When I did the calculation, we do have like 59 days left, but that's not selling days. Selling days, we have 41 days left because remember, we're closed 2 days a week. So we still got to figure out this stuff here. There's a row here that I don't like how this is placed, even though it's front and center. What I'm going to try to do is showcase the flooring, or not the flooring, the trees. And then what we're going to do is we're going to see about just back to back on these pallets in another spot, and I'll show you that in the next video. So here's all those women's hooded flannels. Yeah, so I was thinking about right here putting the cereal all the way back to back with the Pura. So yeah, so that's that. I have a big bunch of pallets lined up everywhere because we're we're trying to get everything organized. So this was the stuff that was where the heaters, there's all those pallets there. So now what we got to do with these is we got to break them out one by one and take the inventory out and then put it on the gondolas. And then this is the aisle that we're going to still fill up with all the stuff in the back. And basically we're just going to work at one pallet at a time once we get going. I did create a pallet of these under cabinet range hoods. So what I did was I did 20% on it of retail, 14 of them for $500. If they have a tax exempt, they're going to get the tax exempt and then only pay $500. All right, so garbage, all the way back to the wall, guys. We got this piled up again, and this is what happens. So you get it clean, and then you get it right back dirty. So a lot of cardboard processing there to the dumpster. I'm pretty sure that's going to put us right at a full dumpster, and then what we're going to do is just kind of do the same thing over again. All right, so back processing area. As you remember, there was another gondola back there that we used to use for high bid. Now that's gone, and this is what's available. So now what we're going to do here is use this for the processing area, and then once we're done processing, this is going to get opened up to the sales floor, because back here I did block off from the processing area around the corner. I did block off this area that used to be the closed processing area. So now we got a wall there. So now we got to walk all the way around, which isn't a big deal. I mean, it's not a big deal at all. Here's some boxes that we're saving up. This is going to be brought with us to the new space, and we talked about. I actually talked about this morning, taking that cardboard and using it as creating boxes, because I do a lot of, when I ship items that are bigger than box that we have in stock, like we keep on hand, I actually make my own boxes, and we will start making those types of videos, because I found a really cool way of doing it, and I want to share it with everybody when that time comes. So yeah, so we're moving and shaking here. I don't know if it's enough. I feel right now that this is going to be a tight squeeze in time. We did put all the toilet paper against that rack right there, so that's all back here. Now you can see from front of the store to the back of the store, there used to be the wall there, remember? So now we can see to the front to the store, to the back of the store. So that's good. The processing area was a good idea, but what happened was we basically did it, and then it turned out where we either got over inundated with clothes, or we didn't have time to process it correctly. So it was kind of like a learning curve that we went through to see, that area was nice to have blocked off to the customers, but I think it's actually better to have it as part of the sales floor. So yeah, clothes aren't really moving as much as I want them to, but we talked about that in previous videos on how much of a leftovers it's possible that we're going to have. So I'm really trying to hope that the closed sales start picking up once we announce. We still have not announced yet because we're waiting for the approval from our landlord to do that, and I'm hoping that that's coming pretty soon. But we might be down to like a 30-day announcement versus when we clear the store. And I was talking to another general manager over at a competitor corporate going out of business, At Home. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but they closed down a bunch of stores. We had one down the street. She was asking me if I wanted some fixtures, and I said no. But she did say that she closed down a few of those locations, and she's gonna reach out to me at a later time and see if she can give me any best practices. But she did say that the second they announced it, their sales increased crazy. So I'm hoping the same thing happens here, because we need a really large amount of money when we leave this place, to either pay off some of the debt, or just to get us going where once we kind of get started and ramped up. Because like when you move your location, guys, you got to remember, a lot of your time that you're going to be spending is going to be organizing and getting it set up. It's not going to be selling right away. So basically what's going to happen is when we switch over to the warehouse, we have to set up our eBay as fast as we can. And you know, I might have to turn it off with the sales for a couple of days just to get every you know, shelving unit placed. But there's going to be a ramp up period. There's going to be a period where the sales might slow down, and we, you know, we're going to be listing, so that's going to trigger the algorithm. But what we need to do is just make sure that we get going as soon as we can, because we have a huge number to hit for the next 6 months to get us out of our debt that we committed to. And basically with that, you know, in 6 months, once that's gone, it's going to be a lot easier for us to maintain at our level, at a smaller level. I'm trying to get my rent to be around $3,000 a month plus all the utilities and all the incidentals. So you're figuring maybe $5,000 a month, maybe $5,500 a month at the most, with everything, with the insurance and all that. So we'll see. I mean, I don't anticipate $2,500 in utilities and everything, but the way that the rates have been rising with the gas and the electric in the area, I would assume that that's a safe bet, because right now I think our utilities went up over $4,000 as it is, and that's not including the insurance. That's not including all the other incidentals that we have to deal with. So yeah, so this video is going to be more of just an update of what's going on with the store. Last month, like I say, we ended up at 69,000, which is our lowest month that we've ever had. This month, I'm hoping to break $70,000. Maybe try to get up to 80. But I mean, I feel like with all the inventory in this store, once we start liquidating, we should see over 100,000. And as long as we see over 100,000, you know, from now until the end of the year, or until the end of November, that should give us, you know, enough to pay off something, and then also give us a little cushion to you know, get our move completed and all that. So yeah, and then I wanted to talk about a couple things that I saw yesterday. I'm going to keep on bringing this up because this is part of the industry that they're not telling you. We saw some remarks talking about sellers having a problem with buyers wasting their time, and I just want to just make this clear to the sellers. Listen, guys, you don't understand what us buyers are going through with our traffic, with our you know, overpriced inventory, trying to figure it out, you know, dealing with all the inventory that we purchased and getting it moved to get our money back so we can buy the next load. The people that don't have buyers groups, that they buy multiple truckloads together to get on your little list, where you can, you know, say, oh, well, I'm going to deal with these people because these people are going to buy 5 truckloads versus these people that are going to only buy 1. You know, it's the onesies that you need to be focused on, because the onesies are the ones that are going to turn into 5Zs. So you sit there and say, oh, we're tired of them wasting our time. You know, they say that they want to buy a load, but then they don't commit, or they commit and they don't pay for it. There's a lot of things that you're not saying in those posts that the buyer is probably having a problem with. Maybe it's the fact that your price is too much. Maybe these guys just don't see it in the load. And I can tell you right now, even us buying our loads that we bought, I've been burned a few times because of your flat rate pricing on your loads, thinking that you have, since you have like in date stuff, you know, you could charge a little bit more. Well, you know what, you need to understand that there's a market bearing price on everything, and especially everybody's in different areas. And our area particular, our customers do not pay half retail on most of this stuff, and we're lucky if we get half retail. So when you're sitting there taking a load that's a, you know, $60,000 or $70,000 retail and charging 20 grand for it, shame on you. And if you're going to have to pay or charge that because that's what you're paying, you need to rethink your business. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you know what's going to happen? And I'm going to call this right now, and I'm not going to be the only one that's going to call this. You guys are going to have so much inventory in your warehouses, and you're not going to have buyers. You think you have buyers, you have your bin store buyers that are, you know, opening up multiple locations. That's fine. But all your other stuff, like your bullseye and all your junk that you paid pennies on the dollar for, and then charge, you know, triple that, you know, like you're paying You're paying your contract, I get it. You're bidding on your contract, I get it. But that's not our fault that you have to overbid to guarantee that you get that spot. That's not on us. What you need to understand is there's a market rate for inventory, and there's going to be a correction, and I'm calling it. The correction's going to be your inventory is going to sit there, and yeah, you're going to get all these new people that don't know what they're doing. But I'm going to tell you right now, those new people are going to turn into experience really quick when they get burned the first time. And then, you're lucky that there's not more feedback being put on the groups. And if you want to talk smack and say how your buyers waste your time, you guys waste our time, because we're sitting here trying to run an operation, and we're looking at these loads, like trying to figure out how we're going to make our ends meet, because you guys are overcharging on your loads. So take that to your little side conversations that you have, with all the brokers to brokers and all the cool kids that are in the cool kids club, and all the buyers that are not in it. It's coming. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the fact that you're getting away with it for this long, and I get it, this industry is not regulated, so you think that you have the right to upcharge somebody. And I'll give you an example. What about that charcoal that somebody was posting for $1,500 for the load, and now it's $2,900 with another broker, same load? So don't tell me that you guys aren't out there robbing people, And the thing is you think that just because you have that Amazon contract or Target contract, you think that your time's not going to come. Well, you better enjoy it while it lasts, because I'm going to tell you right now, when that correction comes, all these corporations that are getting into this industry are going to take you out. And then what's going to happen is you're gonna sit there and blame it on everybody but yourself, and you're not going to understand that you lost the battle before it even began, because being greedy in this industry and putting places out of business because you're being shady, not sending loads, or sending crap, sending processed loads and saying it's not processed loads and all that stuff. Prove it by fixing the situation, and give the guys the money back that you robbed them, because we're not going to be able to sustain the way this is going. I'm pretty lucky because I've invested a lot of money in my inventory, and I'm not going to be affected in the beginning once this all starts catching up as much as these other guys are. But I can tell you right now, you're putting a lot of people at risk, and you're putting a lot of people out of business. And if we didn't do anything smart, we would be one of them. And we don't appreciate it. We don't appreciate the price gouging. We want everything to be fair, and it's never going to be fair when you got people that are brokering stuff, going on 5-10 vacations a year, driving $100,000 cars, and bragging about your lifestyle, while you're sticking it to the people that are paying your way. So and I don't care. You guys can blacklist me all you want, because I'm pretty sure we are already blacklisted. And just because there's been loads that we were going to buy, but we didn't get pictures, we didn't get nothing to tell us that when that load arrives in our location, we have something to expect. We're not buying blind loads, guys. You think that you can just sell them to people just because they're paying? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, those buyers are gonna dry up, and then you're gonna dry up. So you better get with it quick, because what's gonna happen is exactly what I say. You guys are gonna your warehouses are gonna get overfilled because you got all this inventory, and then you're gonna start having financial crunches where you're gonna have to let the stuff go. And when that time comes, we're gonna be there getting those loads cheaper, and we should have just got them for that price in the same or in the beginning. So there you go. You think that you want to talk smack and say, oh, how we waste your time? Well, why don't you learn your industry and learn your customers, and apply your skills to taking care of the people and doing it right, instead of being so greedy. Because when you start getting greedy, anything in this world, anybody that I see that got greedy, look at what happens to them. They lose it. They lose it all, because greed doesn't do nothing. It's temporary. And you know what? Take your windfalls now, and then start doing a better job, because I'm seeing this every day. I'm seeing business or bin stores going out of business, discount stores going out of business, seeing people saying how they're getting screwed on loads. And then I see that the brokers are all banding together and talking mad smack about their own customers. If I sat there and every customer that walked in the door treated them like that, I wouldn't have a business. So why don't you think about that? Why don't you come over to our store and shadow us for a week, and tell me how it's sustainable for the operation that I'm running, a very mild operation with what we offer. Tell me how that's sustainable when you're charging what you're charging for your loads, and you're saying it's not processed, and it is processed. You're taking all the good stuff. You're putting it on your whatnot channels. You're putting it on your discount stores, and then you're taking all the crap, and you're acting like it's something, and it's nothing. So I'm calling you out, man. I'm tired of seeing it, and I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna hope that somebody out there sees this. And if you're a new reseller trying to get into this business, look at who's out there. It's basically like if you compare it to like, I worked at a cell phone industry, and I was in sales, and we had these salesmen that would just do shady stuff all the time, and then they would hit their numbers, but they would be hitting their numbers, screwing other people over. And I'll tell you right now, that is not integrity. Integrity is having a business that's sustainable by selling correctly, and not ripping people off, and not going on 5 vacations a year because you're windfalling, and you say, oh, well, I'm putting in the work. Well, we're putting in the work even 10 times more than you are. And look at what we're getting. We're getting screwed left and right. And then on top of it, we're getting dissed by you guys because you can't understand when you post loads without prices and people want to know what's going on with it. You can't have a secrecy business unless you earn that. You haven't earned that. When somebody's asking you how much that load is, and you're saying you're wasting my time by me messaging back telling you the deal on it, do the work. Doing the work doesn't mean just post it one time and then just sitting back and collecting. That's not doing the work. Doing the work means learning your customer, which would be somebody like me. What type of store do I have? What are we doing to put the right inventory on our sales floor? And then where is that load that's going to keep us going? That's your job. Your job as a broker is to broker. It's not to sit there and cash out and just walk away and just leave the person and to be left hanging on a load that they're not going to be able to do nothing with. So if you don't want that load, that's fine, but don't sell that load as an unprocessed load raw and say that this is a $16,000 load, and it's going to yield so much in profits when it's not. It's just complete lie. And I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna start getting to the point where you keep this up, and there's gonna be states attorneys involved, there's gonna be senators involved, there's gonna be a whole industry change. And then what's gonna happen? Your lifestyle that you got yourself into, your mortgage payment, your really expensive car, you're not gonna have money to pay for that. And then guess who's gonna be bankrupt? Not us, because we're smart. So yeah, so look at this store, guys. I built this store, and I built the store on integrity. And my customers shop with me because they know when they walk in my door, I'm not playing little games behind their back with the stuff that they're buying. I'm being upfront with it. Every customer that walks out my door knows exactly what they're getting, and if they don't get what they're supposed to be getting, I take care of them like a real businessman would, not like just some kid in the basement, some 20, 30 something that just sits there and windfalls off of another person's hard work. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. You guys are feeding off of people that are real workers, and you're sitting behind your computer, bidding on these contracts without knowledge that you're pricing yourself out of this industry by you doing that, just so you know. And then when your inventory piles up and there's no one to buy it, you're gonna have to liquidate it, and then you're gonna have to see how it goes with how you're gonna get rid of that stuff. So just take that with a grain of salt. Put me on your blacklist. I don't care. I'm gonna say what I have on my mind, and I don't appreciate seeing brokers on brokers on the internet just talking shit about their customers. It's disgusting. And if you're gonna keep it up, I'm gonna tell you right now, the smart ones are gonna see right through that. It's the stupid ones that you're after. Then you know what? You know what they say about people that tailor to ignorance, right? Well, they're gonna see their own way there too pretty soon, and that's what's gonna happen. And when it happens, guess who's gonna be behind the scenes laughing at you because you guys ran a a bunk operation, and all based on greed and not on trying to keep your customer, which is us, our buyers, your buyers. You're trying to keep your customers in business, not put them out of business. So that's my rant, guys. And I don't care. You know, I'm gonna say it. No one's saying it. I got my YouTube channel going, and we're gonna start calling it all out. And if you try to get me off your groups, doesn't matter. I'll find a way in, just like everybody else. And I'll keep calling out your bullshit. So there it is. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching. Like my video. Reach out if you have any questions on what I'm talking about. If you caught a little bit of it, if you're a buyer and you want to know what's going on in the background, I'd be glad to tell you that, because that's just the way I see it. And I have a reason to say it, because I'm just getting frustrated with all these prices that are not going to do anything for us buyers. And as I see these brokers going on these vacations, it's upsetting that the fact that these guys think that this is acceptable. So have a great day. Thanks for watching.